You know, like millions of Americans across the country, I too am a small business owner. And we don't have enough of our politicians speaking out for the small business owners across the country. And that's how I got involved 3 years ago. I got fed up like the rest of you all. 10 years ago, as we were all focusing on our businesses and giving back to the local communities and creating jobs and taking care of our employees, we forgot to watch what's going on in Washington, D.C. 10 years ago, both parties failed us. In the year 2007, the fiscal deficit was $161 billion. By 2008, the deficit had reached $420 billion. We're now at $1.5 trillion in annual red ink, and under President Obama's own budget plan, he wants to go red ink and borrow money from the Chinese of $1.65 trillion in the next 12 months. I will tell you, in 1998, with Newt Gingrich as the Speaker of the House, as a Republican Congress, with Bill Clinton in the White House, that partnership formed was $1.8 trillion to pay all the bills, and they had a surplus left over in 1998. President Obama, over the next couple of years, is going to have more in annual red ink than President Clinton's own annual budget that was balanced with a surplus. I say, as a Republican, and I say to all my fellow Americans and veterans, we must speak out and put party politics aside. We must speak out and say, shame on the House Speaker for wanting to cut only 2% off the federal budget. We must say shame on the President who wants to say that he only wanted to cut 1%. There was a compromise between the White House and the leadership and then the Republican Congress. I say that we speak out because we need to cut the federal budget by 20 or 30%. And yes, I do support a government shutdown to make a very clear point. Now, I want to send a message to the rest of America that are watching this across the internet on AmericansForFreedom.org. We can shut down 40 or 50% of the government, and we can still make retirement payments to the retirees of Social Security, to our veterans' benefits, for our national security, the FBI, and our military, and protect them. We can still run that part of the government. It isn't that we go all red ink, all or none. We can shut down 40 or 50% of the government and still issue Social Security checks and Medicare and have no problem doing it. I have a message up to President Obama. With all due respect, sir, and all respect to the office of the President, I tell you that I find it shameful for the President of the United States to not speak out for equal opportunity and freedom and liberty and capitalism in the United States Constitution. I find it shameful that our President is turning around and saying how business owners are evil. If a person makes more than $250,000 a year, he's evil and greedy. The fact of the matter is that the top 10% of the nation pays 74% of all federal income taxes today. The fact of the matter is that our hotel owners, our farmers, our construction companies, and our Florida industries need to make more than $250,000 without paying higher taxes. And that's a problem. Because the problem here is that if you turn around and tax businesses that make more than $250,000, we don't have enough money left over, as strange as it may sound, when we employ 30 or 40 or 100 or 200 employees. We don't have enough money left over to pay the increasing cost of doing business. We have to have capital left over for investment and creating jobs, to give our employees dedicated company the pay raises and the benefits they need. And how dare the President turn around and say that business owners are greedy because we want to save more money for our pension plans and benefits and pay increases and create jobs in the private sector. I say to you, Mr. President, why aren't you talking about, and by the way, the Speaker of the House, why aren't you talking about your relationships with General Electric, where the chairman of the board has bought both sides of the aisle, where GE made $14 billion in the past 12 months and paid 0% in taxes? Why aren't you, Mr. President, taking the chairman of the board of GE, making him the example? Why are you taxing Florida and American businesses 30, 40, in some states, 50% income taxes, while these multinational corporations have bought both sides of the aisles? Why the multinational corporations and the labor organizations control both sides of the aisle? I tell you as a Republican and a fellow patriot, enough. I've had enough. On the immigration issue, I find it very shameful that our city council members here in Tampa, from our county commissioners to the state of Florida up to Washington, D.C., refuse to speak out on why we have illegal residents in our housing projects paid by the taxpayers when we have U.S. veterans who are homeless on our streets in Tampa Bay today. I find it shameful that we have U.S. citizen children living in the streets and mothers who are single moms with their daughters in the streets, and they're being told by our government, we're sorry, we don't have enough room in the public housing because there's illegal residents there. Our city council and our county commissioners and our state representatives have told me over and over, Michael, that's a federal issue. It's not my job. I say to you, hold your city council accountable. Hold your county commissioners and your state representatives accountable to speak out and stop this nonsense. Part of the problem of immigration enforcement is the federal government issues 75,000 work visas a year. They've created the crises. We need the demand that our federal government issue 3 to 4 million work visas a year, so we're supporting our farmers and our hotel workers and the other industries that need that type of work or worker that's skilled in that industry. If we don't issue 3 to 4 million work visas, this isn't going to work for enforcement. But I say no amnesty and apply outside the borders before we give you the permit to work. One of the things at AmericansForFreedom.org that I need your help on is the fact that our state has no prevention of having illegal residents register businesses in the state of Florida. And now there's nothing preventing them from receiving minority-owned business favored status over our U.S. citizens. I say that we need to speak out and ask our government from the state and the county and the federal government and hold them all accountable down to the city council and ask them why do we have illegals in our colleges and universities receiving free tuitions and books and housing and social services when we have our working poor and we've got the inner city kids and we have the single mom that's an American and they need that just extra help, just that little extra help to step up and get those books that might cost $200 or $300, but they need that help as an American citizen out of the inner cities or the low-income neighborhoods to get a chance to reach the American dream and equal opportunity. Why are we giving that money to illegals that shouldn't be here in the first place? And why are they on the University of South Florida? And why isn't the City Council and County Commission raising heck about this? Hold your local elected officials accountable. And one more thing, I will say on the Patriot Act as an American, and as a veteran again, I'm for national security. And I understand after 9/11 what Congress did and why they did it. But I will tell you today, I have changed my opinion about the entire Patriot Act. I say that it's time for the federal government on both sides of the aisle to follow the United States Constitution and quit wiretapping and quit inspecting the homes and businesses of United States citizens without due process and a warrant from a judge. When we hear both sides of the aisle say it's for national security, say, is it really? Then why are there millions of people coming across the southern borders of Mexico where more people have died on the Texas-Mexican border in the past 12 months than the entire Afghan war? Why is it that millions of illegals are coming across to our airports in Orlando and also down Miami International Airport from Europe and South America on tourist visas and staying here, and nothing's being done? And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't think amnesty is happening by both sides of the aisle, you better think again. I've done my homework. I have talked to illegals that have come here. Oh yeah, I came here 10 years ago illegally and I ran a business, didn't pay taxes for 10 years, and hey, I just got my citizenship. I say we need to stop that. We need to promote additional legal work visas and student visas that qualify for skill sets that we need. We need to partner with organizations across the world that are pro-capitalist. We need to make sure that we are partnering with countries like India that has a freedom and free system and not the Communist Party of China. In wrapping up, I will tell you, I have formed AmericansForFreedom.org for one reason. Because a year ago, I took my own money as a business owner and member of the community and looked and saw a need. And I say to you, with our coalition, because we are now the National Coalition of Grassroots Organizations, it doesn't matter if you're a Tea Party patriot, or you're with Freedom Works, or you're with Tea Party Express, or you're with American Majority or a veterans group. It doesn't matter if you're an independent or libertarian. Join the Americans for Freedom Coalition. We need to stand together as Americans. And then on our website, we should not. On our website, when we will not let 2 to 3 social issues divide our coalition. We're going to put those aside as far as Americans for Freedom is concerned, because there's enough organizations that can debate those issues in a free and open society. But I would like, and I invite all the organizations from the city to the state to the federal levels, join the Americans for Freedom Coalition. If you're an individual, you can sign up and stand together as true Americans for equal opportunity and freedom and liberty and the U.S. Constitution. And I want to add, by the way, to President Obama, and this is a direct message to the President, and I want to say, sir, how dare you divide our country by race, religion, and income bracket? How dare you create hate by what someone does or does not happen? How dare you divide us by race the way you're doing? As a President of the United States, I expect my President, no matter what party he is, to bring this country together and follow the teachings of Dr. Martin Luther King, and that's unite us where we stand shoulder to shoulder. It doesn't matter what country we're from. It doesn't matter what religion we are from or about. It does not matter, okay, what our background is or how much we own or don't own. We should stand together as Americans, as Dr. King taught us all and died for us. And I wish, and I ask, both parties up in Washington, D.C., listen to this message and condemn any organization that is not supporting these true American values. In conclusion, I have one more invitation. This is not a GOP event. This is an American event. This is about being an American patriot and standing up for the American core values that I have announced today. And I invite the independents and the libertarians and the modern Democrats to join our cause and stand shoulder to shoulder. And it's no longer Democrat versus Republican. It's, do you support socialism or do you support the United States Constitution? And I say to the GOP leadership at the state and the federal levels and to the House Speaker, listen to us carefully. We are the business owners and the workers of this country. You better pay attention because we are tired of both sides not balancing the budget. And we want the libertarians and the independents and the moderate Democrats, I ask you one favor. Give me 4 years as the founder of AmericansForFreedom.org. Tea Party members and veterans, join me. I will fight for you, and I will help team up the national organizations where we take the top 25, 35 national organizations, and we go down the hallways of Congress together, shoulder to shoulder, as Americans, not as Democrats or Republicans. And I ask the libertarians, the moderate Democrats, and the independents to join the Republican Party right now. Join it, because that gives you a vote and a voice in the primary election to help us to select real Americans, and we'll get these progressives out of both parties. Thank you very much, and God bless America.